So today's topic is going to be about clockability, passing, and blending in. Um, this is a very big, how do I say it, fear for a lot of us in the trans community. I myself had that fear very heavily on in the early stages of me going through the transition, and I'm still on that journey and still on my transition. But I can successfully say that I've moved past that fear and no longer try really hard to be passable, per se, or not clockable. It's a very sensitive subject that a lot of us have to deal with and can be quite frustrating when it comes to our confidence and our self-confidence and really embracing who we really are and who we feel like on the inside and want to display on the outside. So that's what we're going to talk about today is clocking and passability, blending in some of the mannerisms and behaviors. So, hi, I'm Sophia. It's nice to meet you. Now that I've been able to kind of put that out there, like I introduced myself, my name is Sophia. I am trans. I have been going through this beautiful process and beautiful journey for probably about the last 8 months. I didn't go fully public until about 3 months ago, maybe a little bit more, with the support of a lot of my friends and the people that are close to me who I call family. So major shouts out to all of you. You all know who you are. If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't be where I am today without that love and support and that amazing feeling of finally people being able to see how happy you are and realize that this is what you are, this is who you are, and more importantly, being happy finally discovering that this is what I need to do. This is my first video, so apologies for any strange pauses or weirdness in the video, but I wanted to shoot my first video and kind of put it out there to talk about this topic because it's something that I get asked quite a bit. And before I kind of get into some of the things that, as well as a little bit of the stories behind it, I want to tell everybody out there that is going through this journey, just like you hear with all the other more important influencers as well, and I will be a big advocate of that, but it doesn't matter where you are in the stages, whether you're trans woman, trans man, gay, lesbian, bi, doesn't matter, queer to your own gender, non-binary. Always remember to be you. I always have this little saying that I put on my Instagram called be bold, be beautiful, and be you, but most importantly be you. And the reason why I say that is because nobody else on this planet gets to dictate you or your happiness or where you belong or your feeling of being belonging in some kind of space or time. We are only here a short time, so if you can't capture whatever essence that makes you happy and embrace it, it's going to be a really tough period in your life where you find yourself asking a whole lot of questions to people who may not have the answers, and maybe only you have the answer. I had a big dysphoria with my voice, and then I came over that and realized that my voice doesn't matter, it's just one characteristic. The bigger picture is me as a person, me as a personality, the things that I have to benefit others who are around me, and that positive inspiration to realize that I can overcome anything because of the courage I have, and so can you. You don't have to sit quiet and let everybody else dictate what makes your life happy or what makes you happy. Go do you and focus on you. That's all that matters. Now that I've got my little PSA out of the way, and we're on that point of talking about discussions. So the most common question that I get is passing, or clocking, or blending in, and I have been given that compliment quite a few times about being not clockable. And for those of you people out there who are watching and don't understand what clockability, think of it like this kind of analogy. If you're driving your car and you're on the road and there's 3 lanes and everybody's going pretty much the same speed, give or take 4 or 5 miles an hour, and there's a cop maybe right down the road somewhere and he's running radar, is it easy for him to clock somebody who might be going slower or faster when everybody's kind of going the same? The answer is no, because you're not able to clock the differences between one car versus another. The same thing isn't applicable, and I apologize, I got lipstick on my teeth. Oh, goodness. The same thing is being able to be clocked. If somebody's speeding more than that average norm, say give or take 5 or 6 miles an hour, and apologies, I'm going to vape during this. So if a person's going way faster than the speed limit and the cars around him, the cop is easily able to clock that person because they stick out. They're completely obvious to the surroundings and the environment in which they're approaching. So the cop is able to pick that out, and that's called clocking. The same thing happens in the trans world. We will try our hardest to blend in and be who we want to be and who we are on the inside, just reflecting out and being who we are in the most beautiful form that we possibly can. And that's really tough because there's such a social stigma or label that you have to look a specific way, or you have to have your makeup done a specific way, or dress a specific way. I know I use the word specific a lot, so excuse me and I apologize, but this kind of hits home for me. It's really tough. You don't have to have your makeup done a specific way. You don't have to look like cisgendered girls or cisgendered men just to fit in. You know, your beauty is in your own skin and the person that's inside you. Do what feels best for you and what makes you comfortable. Be you, and don't ever forget not being you, because then if you're trying to be somebody you're not, then you're not doing what makes you happy. You're striving for something that you'll never reach. It's an imperfection within your own psyche to try and convince you that you need to be something because somebody has made that the label or made that the stigma. And that's not what this is about. You need to express based on what you feel inside and how you feel you want to represent. Nobody has the golden book that tells us that this is the way everybody should look, because if that was the case, I'd still be stuck where I was 1 year ago, not happy and kind of lost and acting in some pretty reckless behavior, and that's for another day. But from a clocking perspective, I've been told a couple different times just recently that it was really tough to clock me, which I found it kind of shocking because that's never ever my goal, is to be clockable or not clockable. I just do me because it makes me happy. I look in the mirror and I smile. I wake up in the morning and I don't see this frustration that I used to have. I see a blank canvas. I see a beautiful face, which is one of my probably most happiest things to be able to do, is wake up and just look and notice and see all this amazing inner beauty and realize that this face is just something to work with. And as long as I can make the canvas pretty and ready, then I can do whatever I want. Practicing with my makeup has allowed me to express that beauty just in quick strokes, as I would call it, or a little light application, or making myself try something new. So I encourage people out there that if you're doing your makeup for the first time, don't hesitate. You can hit the subscribe button and the link button down below and you can message me, leave comments. I'll try to answer as fast as I possibly can. If you have questions and want to know more about makeup and stuff, you can follow me on Instagram. You can message me. I am an open book when it comes to that. I really believe in supporting one another and making sure that we're there for one another, because we live in a really dark world right now, and there's a lot of hatred towards a lot of people. It doesn't matter what community we belong to, there's just a lot of hate out there. And that's got to stop. We got to worry about being able to accept one another as people, because that's what we are. We're just people. Who cares what we express like? We still are made up of the same colors on the inside, and the last I checked, most of our insides are still pretty peach colored, so that makes us pretty much equal. Anywho, done for my soapbox, but I don't strive to clock. I don't strive to not clock. I don't strive to pass or not pass. That was really, really tough in the beginning. I always wanted to pass, or I was always afraid to do my makeup and wear my clothes that belonged to me and fit me and made me feel amazing, because I didn't feel like I fit that norm or that stigma that existed with what a woman is supposed to look like. And when I finally was able to come over that and realize that it doesn't fucking matter, that's when I realized, like, you know what, I can go out in public and do my own thing. So what do people look? Who gives a shit? If you're going to say things, it's just your own insecurities speaking out because you have things that you have not resolved in your own inner being. That's not my problem. Me doing me is just me doing me, and I'm confident and courageous and happy. And by God damn it, I am bold and beautiful, and I believe it, and I feel it, and I love it. So I encourage everybody out there to harness that inner beauty that you have. Harness that ability to express what means so much in here and needs to shine out. If you don't let that shine, it's going to be really tough. And if you're in that dark space or you're in that place, there are people out there that are there to listen to you. We're all here. We all have shoulders. We all have ears. Just takes a quick phone call or text message. Don't be afraid to reach out. So enough of the, like, serious talk. So I have a small story to tell on that, and it goes back to clocking. So recently I took a trip to New York, and I did it for my work, and we had a layover, unfortunately, because they had grounded some flights, so I kind of got stuck where I had to stay locally at the airport and get on the next flight the next day. So it wasn't that a big issue. So I stay the night, hang out, go down to the bar, have a drink, go back, relax a little bit, go to sleep, wake up the next morning. Next flight's not till 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock. I don't really remember, and I'm really good with that stuff, but this, for some strange reason, escapes me. Anywho. So I grab my bag, which is just a carry-on, and my purse, and I carry a laptop bag with me just to have all my business stuff in it. And now granted, I don't have my legal documents all the way done and completed, but my work ID and every other piece of identification that represents who I am as Sophia is photoed and created. So I have digital copies, I have static copies, I have badge cards, I have all of it. The only things that haven't been done are like my passport and my driver's license, which are in process. So rest assured, soon Sophia will be legal on all her documents. So this makes it a little bit of an issue, especially when you're trying to go through a TSA and get on an airplane.